China has deployed a vast network of spies overseas, aiming to acquire industrial technologies and secrets in sensitive fields like military and aerospace. The ultimate goal is to weaken America's commercial and manufacturing advantages, challenging its leadership on the global stage. The spies embedded within administrative and national security agencies have even greater power, as they can directly influence government policies and threaten national security. Meanwhile, the operatives placed within local Chinese communities can simultaneously stir up tensions within American society and silence opposition voices abroad, all while strengthening the legitimacy of their regime's control. Rising prices, skyrocketing healthcare costs, and crushing student loan debt. You think that's America's crisis? Think again. Our national security is flashing red too. In early September, the Justice Department dropped a bombshell. Luft, head of the think tank Institute for the Analysis of Global Security, is an unregistered agent for the Chinese Communist Party. He's already been arrested overseas and will be extradited to the US for trial in the coming weeks. This explosive case is bound to grab national attention. Luft was actually arrested once before, back in February of last year in Cyprus, but escaped while out on bail. According to the US indictment, Luft had been recruiting senior US government officials on behalf of Chinese officials, offering bribes and covertly pushing for policies that favored China, even writing op-eds under the guise of an advisor for Chinese media. He also tried to facilitate illegal weapons and oil deals between China and Iran. What? The think tanks we've always trusted to guide public policy, the so-called shadow government, had been infiltrated by the CCP? If even this last bastion had been corrupted, what's left for us to trust? Chinese spies aren't just infiltrating the private sector. They're lurking inside government agencies, waiting for the right moment to strike. Some have even reached very high levels. Recently, another explosive case shocked the nation, the Linda Sun or Sun scandal, unfolding right inside the New York governor's office. The tall and strikingly beautiful Linda Sun, or Sun Wen, served in the New York state government for 14 years, spanning 2 governors. Until her resignation in March of last year, she held the positions of Deputy Chief of Staff and Deputy Commissioner of Labor under current Governor He Chou. Sun was also highly active in the local Chinese community, often representing the governor at various community events. According to the indictment filed by prosecutors in early September, Linda Sun used her position in the state government to secretly advance agendas favorable to the Chinese Communist Party, threatening US national security. In addition, she repeatedly intervened to prevent meetings between New York state officials and Taiwanese representatives, using the excuse of not wanting the governor to be involved in sensitive cross-strait issues. For example, in 2019, when Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen passed through New York, Linda Sun claimed that officials had other commitments and refused to arrange a meeting. She then reported back to Chinese Communist Party officials, assuring them that she had successfully blocked the meeting. Additionally, Linda Sun had altered critical communications from New York state officials to the Chinese government without authorization, pushing for high-level political figures in New York to visit China. She even sent invitation letters to Chinese officials on behalf of state governments without proper approval, facilitating meetings between Chinese representatives and state officials. Linda Sun wasn't the only one acting as an agent for China. Her husband also reaped significant benefits from her dealings with Chinese interests. These gains allowed them to purchase a luxurious mansion worth up to $5.5 million, along with a collection of brand new luxury vehicles. Her husband set up shell companies to launder the illegal proceeds, making them appear as legitimate income. The Linda Sun case is far from an isolated incident. For example, in the UK, MI5 issued a warning about a prominent lawyer accused of accepting bribes from the Chinese Communist Party to help push pro-China agendas within the parliament. In Germany, an aide to a far-right politician was secretly funneling information about the workings of the European Parliament to China. There is a significant number of Chinese spies and agents hidden throughout Europe. quietly working to promote and implement measures favorable to China. In the Lin Sun case, we witnessed a new strategic approach from the Chinese Communist Party. As US-China rivalry intensifies, China has realized that influencing the US federal government is not as easy as they once hoped. As a result, they have shifted their tactics toward local governments, counties, states, and their administrative bodies and legislators. These local governments, compared to the federal level, are less adept at detecting China's infiltration and agenda setting, making them easier targets for manipulation. Under Xi Jinping's rule, the Chinese Communist Party has built an extensive social surveillance network. Citizens and officials are encouraged to monitor and report on each other, while the CCP had placed numerous officials with national security backgrounds within the party's upper ranks. Additionally, this method had been extended to both domestic and international social networks, further expanding their reach and control. The Chinese Communist Party had created a secret organization composed of party members and overseas Chinese, overseen and led by the United Front Work Department. The CCP has allocated to a significant budget to its intelligence apparatus, which collaborates with other spy agencies, ensuring that it follows the directives of the People's Liberation Army and the party's central leadership. As a result, with the backing of the party's central leadership and a massive budget influx, Chinese espionage activities have become increasingly rampant and frequent. Shockingly, even renowned anti-communist scholars have been exposed as covert Chinese spies behind the scenes. In late August of this year, the FBI arrested and charged 76-year-old Wan Shujun. Following a trial in the Brooklyn federal court, he was found guilty on multiple charges, including acting as an unregistered foreign agent, unlawful possession of identification documents, and making false statements. After arriving in the US in the 2000s and obtaining American citizenship, Wan Shujun became an active figure among Chinese dissidents under the guise of being an anti-communist scholar. He initiated and founded the Hu Yaoban and Zhao Ziyang Memorial Foundation, serving as its Secretary General and later, 5 years, becoming its Vice President. The members of this foundation were primarily exiled Chinese dissidents, pro-democracy activists, and Falun Gong practitioners residing in the US. However, Wan Shujun exploited his position to engage with and monitor Hong Kong democracy advocates, Taiwan independence supporters, Uyghur and Tibetan activists, and Falun Gong practitioners. After gathering intelligence on these individuals, he transmitted the information back to Chinese national security officials through encrypted software, emails, and even physical documents. Among those betrayed and monitored by Wan Shujun was Albert Ho Chun Yan, once known as Hong Kong's #1 dissident. He's a former chairman of the Hong Kong Alliance in support of patriotic democratic movements of China and a former chairman of the Democratic Party. Ho is now imprisoned with the Chinese Communist Party. Wan Shujun, posing as a renowned scholar and pretending to establish a pro-democracy organization, was harshly criticized by a prosecutor who stated that the defendant is an agent of the Chinese Communist Party. They also condemned him for willingly betraying those who respected and trusted him. And recently, an even more shocking case has met headlines nationwide. The Department of Justice announced that former CIA employee Ma Yuqing has been sentenced to 10 years in prison for acting as a spy for the Chinese Communist Party and leaking critical intelligence. Ma Yuqing was born in Hong Kong and later moved to Honolulu, Hawaii. He was arrested in 2020. During a trip to Shanghai, China, he was recruited by Chinese intelligence agents and tasked with gathering intelligence for them in the US. Upon returning to Hawaii, Ma applied for a position at FBI's Honolulu office, where he assisted in reviewing and translating contract language. He even managed to obtain top security clearance. It was during that time that the US became aware of Ma Yuqing's interaction with Chinese intelligence agents. Instead of blocking his application, they hired him and began closely monitoring his espionage activities. Eventually, the FBI sent undercover agents posing as Chinese intelligence officers to meet with Ma, showing him video evidence to gain his trust. This led to a successful sting operation, resulting in Ma Yuqing's arrest. During the following period, Ma Yuqing frequently copied, photographed, and stole classified documents, which he smuggled to China. Prosecutors noted that he often returned with large sums of US dollars in cash and expensive gifts as compensation, He even told the undercover FBI agents posing as Chinese intelligence officers that he hoped his motherland would succeed. China has deployed a vast network of spies overseas, aiming to acquire industrial technologies and secrets in sensitive fields like military and aerospace. The ultimate goal is to weaken America's commercial and manufacturing advantages, challenging its leadership on the global stage. The spies embedded within administrative and national security agencies have even greater power, as they can directly influence government policies and threaten national security. Meanwhile, the operatives placed within local Chinese communities can simultaneously stir up tensions within American society and silence opposition voices abroad, all while strengthening the legitimacy of their regime's control. We must remain vigilant against the Chinese Communist Party, confronting their hostility head-on to truly protect our freedom and prosperity. We are Oh My God, posting videos every month on issues about China. If you like our videos, please hit like and subscribe, and follow us on all our social media. See you next time. Bye-bye.